Welcome to the Green Building Show, where we investigate green design and building trends throughout Australia.
This week we continue our investigation into cost. I'll be sitting down with Garry Thornley from Cordell Costing Solutions, as well as Michael Terley from A-Plan Kitchens, to find out exactly what you can get for your dollar if you're considering a kitchen renovation. And later we hear from tropical design expert Charles Wright. He's created a radical alternative to the traditional Queenslander. I'm here today with Garry Thornley. He's the National Manager of Costing at Cordell Costing Solutions. Thanks for being with us, Garry.
You're very welcome. Nice to be here.
Fantastic. And so if we take a basic kitchen, can you give us a bit of a cost breakdown?
Yeah, sure. Probably, if we're looking at probably a smallish type of kitchen, I suppose, where you'd look at something round about the 15 square metre mark, you're probably looking at somewhere in the vicinity of probably $12,000 for the base carcass and kitchen as a whole, and then probably another $3,000 for appliances. And then if you step that up, you're probably looking at somewhere a larger kitchen, probably about $20,000, $15,000 for the kitchen itself, and $5,000 for the appliances. And if you really stepped it up, around about say a 25 square metre, so you'd be probably looking at about $25,000 and about $10,000 for a bit more prestigious appliances.
Right. Okay. So that's for a premium type kitchen.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And what about saying a bit more middle of the road?
Yeah, the middle of the road, you're probably looking at a large kitchen, probably around about $15,000. You'd probably drop it down there, and you'd probably look at around $5,000 for appliances. Okay, and if you have a really small kitchen, I guess, can you give us a price per square metre of a kitchen? Is there an average price? Not really, because it's all, you have linear meterage of cupboards into a particular size, square metre of space. And of course it varies considerably, because there's things like, you could buy a Westinghouse oven, for example, for $500, but you could buy a Miele oven for around $2,500.
Sure.
So it does vary quite considerably. So cost per square metre when you relate it to kitchens, very, very difficult to get to that. Okay, and for someone doing a kitchen renovation or a kitchen makeover, what is something that you would strongly suggest that they really take a look at closely, that can, one aspect of it that can really influence the price a lot? Sure.
Is it the bench top, or is it the cabinets? Or?
Yeah, I think, as we said before, probably the three major ones, the carcasses and the bench tops and the appliances. So the big thing, I suppose, is to look at, search out what you want, have a look at a budget, what you can afford, and don't get carried away with the costs. Do this with your head, not your heart, basically.
And is there a specific part of the kitchen where people typically tend to overspend?
Absolutely, yeah, appliances. There's no question about it. You go in, you have certain budget, you have something set in your mind, and when you go into one of the showrooms, and of course you look at your basic product that you think that's what I'm going to have, and then you look at something else, a little bit more upmarket. Of course, the human nature says you want the best. So that's when your heart takes over and your budget goes out the window.
Garry Thornley, thank you for your time.
Very welcome, thank you.
I'm here today with Michael Terley. He's the Managing Director of A-Plan Kitchens in Sydney. Thank you for being with us, Michael.
Pleasure, Carlos.
Great. So we're talking today about the costs involved when it comes to renovating your kitchen. We want to give homeowners an idea of what they can get for their dollar.
Yes.
Can you give us an average price for a renovation, kitchen renovation?
Well, if you're looking at a budget kitchen, I like to try and split it up in three sections, where you've got your cabinets, bench tops, and appliances and of trades. A basic kitchen, with say a freestanding stove, which is your very lowest part, would be $4,000-$5,000. Could do that quite comfortably, and you'll get about 10-12 cabinets for that. The bench top, if you go for a laminated bench top, be about $1,000. You can get it less than that, but if you put it in round figures, that's a good figure. Basic appliances, if you stay with Australian appliances, say Westinghouse, that's a good brand, $1,200, you'll get an oven, a hot plate, a range hood, and it's a good standard. And then for trades, you've got plumbers, electricians, installers. If you allow $2,000, that will allow you to move a few power points around and maybe do some alterations to the plumbing.
So all up, how much for an average kitchen? How much are people going to be spending?
For a budget, somewhere between $6,000 and $12,000 will get you, quite a good basic budget kitchen.
Right, and for an average or perhaps a more premium kitchen, how much are they paying?
Middle of the road today is around about $20,000. That's a very popular sort of price point.
About 20 grand, okay. And how much potential value can that $20,000 outlay add to the value of the home?
With $20,000 to spend, you'll probably double your money when you consider that it's part of the overall family home. It's usually the center point of the home. It's a very important part of the living space. And we found that a nicely designed kitchen, you'll get your money back and more, double it.
Great. Okay, we'll take that $20,000. Can you break that down into the components for the kitchen? Well, I guess, where's that money going in a kitchen renovation?
The cabinets, you're usually looking at $8,000 to $12,000. A stone bench top, an engineered stone, or what we call solid surface, would be $3,000 to $4,000 is a typical thing. Trades, $2,000 to $3,000, say. And then, of course, appliances, anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, depending on what you want.
Okay, great. And is there one part of the kitchen which perhaps is excessively expensive, or where the budget has potential to blow out?
The bench tops are these engineered stone bench tops are wonderful. You get the new palette of colors, very nice, very attractive, but they can be expensive. $3,000 or $4,000 for a lot of people is more than one to pay.
So what's the alternative?
Well, the laminates, for $1,000 you get fantastic quality, 20 years wear, modern styling. The new modern laminated bench tops really are good value. Sometimes they're a little bit overlooked, but they will give you good value.
Michael Terley, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'm here today with Charles Wright. He's the director of Charles Wright Architects. Thanks for being with us, Charles.
Okay.
So we're talking today about the Wright House, which is, it's a real iconic house in Port Douglas. Tell us, what was the brief from the client? I mean, it's an incredible looking home.
Look, well, the brief was fairly simple and straightforward. It was just that they needed a house that they were going to use for holidays with extended family, but also the times that they're not using it, to have it as a executive holiday rental property.
Right. Okay. And it says that in the description that I've got in front of me here, excuse me, it's saying that it's actually it's suggesting an alternative to the traditional type of Queenslander. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, look, your traditional type of Queenslander is basically a box on stilts with a veranda surrounding it. And this is a bit of a reinterpretation of what can be done in the tropics.
All right, great. And it uses such a vast array of materials. Could you, I guess, give us a bit of an explanation of why you use such a wide gamut of materials?
Yeah, look, I guess we wanted to do something that was a bit different. Traditionally, the construction methodology in far north Queensland is using block and render, concrete masonry, core-filled concrete masonry. I guess we wanted to still maintain the structural integrity to deal with cyclone conditions, etc., but to provide for perhaps a unique or point of difference in terms of the finishes. So that's where we came to deciding to use a core-filled clay brick masonry, which we exposed with break joints internally, as opposed to sort of just doing what would be the standard render and paint. Yeah.
All right, perfect. And it's got like a number of cladding type of materials, like around the exterior. So is it a reverse brick veneer? So
No, it's not. Basically, the perimeter, it's basically like a roof structure that ties down and extends over the living areas. Basically ties down to the ground. Those become the sort of the pergola or sunshaded areas, which provide both sunshading and privacy at the same time.
Right.
But basically, the perimeter of the facility, because the house, given that it's pretty much under shade at the building line, it's predominantly glass.
And I mean, and those cladding panels, what are they made out of?
Well, that's painted CFC, compressed fibre cement sheet.
Okay, fantastic. All right, and what's your personal favourite aspect of the house, or what you consider the most unique aspect?
Oh, look, I think it was just a bit of a rethink on what could be done in the tropics.
Fantastic. All right, Charles Wright, thank you for your time.
No worries.